Here we go. Welcome to the Athletes Forum podcast. Thank you all for coming back, supporting, dropping comments, liking, and subscribing, talking college football with me. I appreciate your support. So let's keep that thing going. Hey, we've made it to the best week ever in college football, week 7. There are a ton of crazy slates, good games that we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into a little bit. I got my notes because it's definitely a lot we're going to discuss here. We're going to talk about some of the matchups. And, here, let me bring it up for you right here. Some of the matchups we got this week. And then at the end, I'll give you some – I'm going to create a parlay with all these games. And let's throw this one up here because I want to add that Colorado-Kansas State game, that little nightcap. I'm going to throw in a parlay for DraftKings, and we're going to bet it. We're going to see if it hits. But, we'll mess around it. So if you want to play along, let me know what you think about the games and about the parlay. DraftKings is down right now. But once that gets back up, I'll post it, and then we'll see how everything goes. But week 7, man, it doesn't get no better than this. A lot of top matchups, especially coming off of last week's where it was like 5 upsets in the top 11, 5 teams I ended up losing. Maybe some trap games. Looking forward to this week. We'll see, but we're going to see how a lot of teams bounce back. So I don't want to waste too much more of your time, but let's dive into it. All right, here we go. First game we want to dive into, Red River, Texas versus Oklahoma. This has always been a classic. Both teams have a bye at the same time preparing for this game. This is the Texas State Fair. Does Texas slip in this one? And that's my question heading into this matchup. Does Texas slip up in this one? Usually over the past couple of years, it's always been, is Texas back? Are they back? And they've always found that one game where they just slip up. Obviously, we saw they play versus Michigan earlier in the year. Doesn't at the time thought it was a great win, but basically how Michigan has played, not really having an identity. That win may diminish just a little bit, but we'll see how everything goes in that capacity. So Red River, Oklahoma, a little bit of a quarterback controversy. They're starting their freshman quarterback, Michael Hawkins Jr. A little bit more mobile. There's a little bit of a different spark on offense. I think they're looking for something that Caleb Williams was able to do when he was able to come in and relieve Spencer Rattler and be able to create plays, and they ended up beating Texas a couple of years ago. We're going to see if Michael Hawkins Jr. can do the same thing. This game is always, regardless, you could throw records out the window. This game has always been interesting for the fact that you have one team that's real good and they come in and they think they're going to be dominant and end up losing. Obviously, last year, Dylan Gabriel, now at Oregon, comes in, rushed for 100. They upset Texas in Red River last year. Oklahoma, let's see my notes here. So we got true freshmen. I think one thing Oklahoma needs to do is have a better blocking scheme offensively. When they played Tennessee, their offensive game plan wasn't really great. They didn't really move the ball. They didn't really, they wasn't really drawing up schemes to protect their quarterback and allow him to make the plays necessary. And you're going to need that versus a Texas defense that is stout up front. This might be Sarkisian's best defensive line he's had since he's been at Texas. And how are they going to overcome that? Maybe a little bit of zone read, maybe get the quarterback out of the pocket a little bit, allow him to use his legs and be more mobile. If you just allow him to stand, you just allow Michael Hawkins Jr. to just stand in the pocket and try to dice up Texas, is not going to happen. When you look at Texas, good last year, and they thought they were great. And obviously, we talked about that slip-ups. They are great this year. They are well-balanced. They have a backup quarterback who could start for probably a lot of other top teams in the country. And speaking of that, I don't know who's playing quarterback, if it's Arch or Quinn Ewers. But drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think who's playing quarterback. Strong up front defensively, fast. Experience on the back end. Defense is going to make it hard for Oklahoma in this game. To be honest, when it comes down to this matchup, I trust Sark. I trust what Texas has looked like this year despite the competition. But again, they always find that game to slip up. The line for this game is 2 touchdowns. I think it's 14.5. But I'm going to rock for my Athletes Forum podcast DraftKings parlay. I'm going to take over 50.5. I think when these two teams always meet, there's always a lot of points scored. So I'm going to rock with the trend 50.5. I think Texas wins, but I don't know if I want to go with the 2-point spread. So I'm going to take over 50.5 for Red.